at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
Greetings and salutes to all. It is I, Wasp, your station's audiobook reader. Today we continue our reading of the Warhammer fanfiction Messages for Dad by Dusk, Dawn, and Fate and Showtime 178. Now, take a seat, grab a snack, and relax, and let us begin. Silence was what graced the room as the family patiently waited for the new holovid to play. Everyone had their own opinions of the child, Aegidius, and the information in these vids. Some were internally debating on whether or not watching more was going to be beneficial in the end. They did have a mountain of information of the future already. What more can one series do? Meanwhile, Horace was lounging, waiting for the next vid to play. After watching the first vid, he was reminded of something else. Imagine having to deal with children. Excuse you, brother? Horace shrugged. I mean, dealing with some of you is like dealing with a bunch of children at times. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Lehman cut him off, even as most of the family began snickering. I just fell for that, didn't I? Really? I hear wolves get slower in their old age. You damn nerd! I'm only 2,000 wolf years old. I'm sorry, but did you just say wolf years? Oh, it's a valid bloody measurement, accepted in the highest imperial standards. No, it bloody well isn't. I would know. I wrote that particular codex along with Rebooted. Nerds! Oh, for fuck's sake, you're insufferable! This is almost as bad as the time you tried to tell us that measuring levels of destruction should be called angrons. There was a grunt of annoyance from the Red Angel himself, even as Lehman gave a wolfish grin. Well, I did also try to propose a unit of psychic catastrophe levels, but you denied it. Because calling something nerd failure levels makes no scientific sense! Magnus wasn't around for this at the time, but during the earliest stages of the Great Crusade, Lehman attempted to impose wolves for survival chances of a battle. I'm not surprised. I've heard children come up with better terms than that. I don't remember that. What? Has all the Space Marine level alcohol you tend to drink finally rotted away your memory part of your brain? Nah, I can't. In fact, all I remember is that I met Horace on that day and I probably proposed that and then we had a feast and oh, so that's why. Lehman then turned to face the War Master and gained his brother's attention. Say, brother, how many tables did I break that day? What? Why would you ask me that? All of them were broken. Aye, but how many did I personally break? Oh, I don't know. Like 20, maybe? Oh, so I was pretty out of it then. You measure how drunk you were by broken tables? Oh, of course not. Ah, good. My intelligence was insulted just as much as it could be by then. It was actually by how many tables I broke, along with how many women I dated. Though, of course, I was much more of a bachelor back in those days. Alright, let's move on to the next subject then. Thankfully, this was the moment Magus Lem decided to interrupt the incoming fight. My lords, the vid has been readied for playing. Please, Magus, go ahead. I swear you are all like children. 204 M42 McCrag, Fortress of Hera. The holovid came alive. This time, it thankfully didn't fall over as soon as it started. It showed Aegidius carrying some bag with him as he hurriedly pulled it off to throw onto his bed. Quickly coming to his desk chair, obviously he was excited about something and could barely contain himself.
Hi, Dad! I finally figured... I'm okay!
He slowly got up from the floor, shakily grabbing onto the side of his desk and getting up.
Okay, that wasn't as bad.
The entire lower half of his face was covered in blood as his nose was bent in an abnormal angle.
Sorry, Dad. I know you don't really like it when I mess up.
What was strange is that his voice had a slight whistle to it now, which surprised him as well.
Wait, hold on.
Majos? Pause, please. Rabute, what? How in the wolfing hell isn't that pup crying his eyes out?
I never thought I would say this, but I agree with Layman.
Aegidius, I don't know why he's like this. Mortarion? You're a doctor, what do you think?
I am no expert on mutant physiology, but I'm pretty sure he must have experienced a large amount of pain early on in his life, and it affected his pain receptors. Or maybe he just has a dull sense of pain. It could be either, really. I don't really care.
What could he have possibly gone through to be like that? Rabute, it's fine. He obviously doesn't see anything wrong with himself, and he's not dead, so it's fine. Major, sunpause. Then he reached into his mouth and felt around a bit before wincing only slightly as he pulled out a small tooth.
Blech. Oh, I lost another one. Cool.
He put the tooth in some unknown container off screen as he put his chair back up and sat down on it carefully.
Hold on, I can't breathe through my nose.
Son, what in the ever-loving fuck language, dear brother? The young one is obviously used to the pain. And this being an unnerving constant in his life, I really should send a hymnal to Shigoris when I have the time. And then, Aegidius broke his nose back into place with barely a whine or complaint.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, I have seen that 1,000 times, but I still can't get over people snapping parts back into place.
He looked down at his clothing before looking back at the holo recorder.
Oh wait, I'm covered in my own blood again. Blood is so hard to get out of clothes. Okay, so I was doing a lot better. I mean, this is the first time today that I got hurt and fell over. I was doing really good too. I was watching where I was going. I made sure not to run in the halls. I swear, I was good.
He then frowned, wiping away at the blood on his face with his sleeve. Son, how can you be that clumsy with Primarch and Eldari genes in your blood? Sounds like a really unlucky mixture of genes. That unlucky? I doubt it. There would need to be more external force in play.
But, I don't know, it just happens. I mean, I know you're gonna be mad, but whenever I go to sneak peeks at the war meetings...
I'm sorry, you do what, young man?
I'm fine, but whenever I go do anything else, I get hurt. It's weird.
He began to look around for a replacement shirt, leaving the screen. It's not as if I wasn't attending war meetings at his age. You are a Primarch, brother! And besides, our father is a horrible parent. Hey, okay, you might have a point. My child-raising skills were never the best, but I was doing my best. Sounds of rummaging came from the screen, Aegidius peeking his head back in.
I hope you're not mad.
Then back away with a curse in Eldari. I don't suppose I can be, son. I'm just worried that Rabute realized yet again what he was doing. Are you kidding me? Give it some time. It will eventually go away. Father, I am worried I might start lecturing the vid at some point. I doubt you'll get to that point, son. Calm down and watch the vid. Eventually, he did come back to the screen, using his old shirt to wipe away more blood.
This is so hard to do without water. Ugh, but if I do ask for something to help, then Big Bro will come. I don't want to deal with him. Dad, I gotta ask. Why did you put Big Bro Sicarius in charge of me? I mean, he isn't so bad. He has a lot of stories. He can be fun to be around. He's a good friend, and he's a great babysitter, but I'm not a baby, you know? Sorry, I'm just kinda not happy with school. Everyone is usually so down and so full of despair, or they just disappear in a day because they're becoming my brothers. It's hard to really enjoy it, or, you know? I guess constant war is just not good.
Not the sharpest sword, is he? He's a child, brother. Back off. Well, if Fenris, he would already be fighting. And that is why it's called a death world.
Can't you fix it? Can't you just make it stop?
Aegidius looked up at the screen, big eyes in view, as if demanding answers. That is oddly effective.
Strange. I thought the effect was limited to females. Apparently not. It's working on me, too. Must be an Aldari thing.
But it can't be so bad. I mean, they're going off to be Ultramarines. That's just so cool. I wish you'd let me be one, though. I don't know if I'd be a good one. I fall over all the time. You tell me I have to stay home because people get lost if I'm not. Then again, I don't even like fighting, so... I guess I'd be a really lousy Ultramarine.
He is too young to understand the trials as of yet.
No, he's the perfect age for them.
He is, but the trials are difficult, and, well, you can't see yourself putting Aegidius through them. Yes, I don't know why. It must just be instincts.
Oh, I can see that.
Though, for some reason, I see the parents of the ones who go to become Ultramarines crying sometime when they come to the fortress. They just seem so sad. When one of my brothers tells them something, then offers them a folded flag.
That is the reality of those who don't pass. I know.
Please come home soon. I don't really have anyone to talk to. All my brothers are too busy fighting demons that appear here sometimes, or going off to the war. All the kids my age are kind of scared of me, or just angry with me sometimes. Lots of kids tell me that they can't see their siblings anymore because of me. And the Eldari aren't much help either. The craft worlders are still angry that they're stuck here in Macragge, and the Exorcites aren't happy with leaving their maiden worlds. And they all just either hate me or just stare at me with some weird look on their face as they call me...
He paused, thinking.
He who shines brightest. It sucks not having friends.
He who shines brightest. Now that is an interesting bit of information.
Indeed. What could he have done to earn that title?
The Eldari do not bestow titles needlessly, nor without intent.
He who shines brightest. Not necessarily in the Imperium. Rogel might just be right here. Perhaps this connects with what he said earlier. Which part? People getting lost without him.
We need to watch more before we set a hypothesis.
Kind of funny that I finally figured out what to say on these, and it ends up making me feel really sad and lonely instead. And I was so excited to tell you all about my day, or something I learned. Instead, I'm just sending boring messages to you. Dad, can I tell you something? And can you please not be mad at me?
He paused, then continued.
I don't want to be the Emperor when I grow up.
What?
Aegidius ducked his head, retracting into himself slightly.
Please don't be mad. I don't even know what being an Emperor is like. Being a prince is bad enough. I don't like fighting. I don't like it when other people fight. I don't even know what I should do or know, and it is all so much. Why can't you just keep being the Lord Commander? Yeah, that. Why do I need to be Emperor? Can't I just stay home and just read? I like reading. I went through about 1/3 of the books in the library of Hera by now.
His face grew sorrowful once more.
He is destined to take my title. There is something going on here, something far greater than what we are seeing if Rebuta himself has decreed it as such.
I just want him to have a childhood.
A fair request from a parent, but... this galaxy isn't fair. You have to deal with it along with the rest of us.
He is just a child, brother.
So was fucking I when they hammered these things into my head. Life isn't fucking fair, especially for a mutant. Get over it.
I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be big now, so I can't complain. I just don't know what to do.
Ugh, the kid's got grit. I'll give you that, Repute.
I'm going to stay tough, Dad. Tough for you. Don't worry about me. I can...
Aegidius then glanced at something off the screen.
Oh! Is that the time already? I haven't done my history homework yet! I barely have 46 pages out of the 20 required ones!
Wait, what the fuck?
I gotta go! See you later, Dad! Ow! Not again. Okay. Turn on voice mode! Stop recording! Oh, hey, the blood all over Dad's model!
The feed then cut to black. Once the vid was over, All that was left was the Primarchs and a whole lot more questions than they had entered with. What had happened to the Emperor, to the Imperium? What was going on that Macragge was under attack by demons? Why was Aegidius proclaimed practically as a prophet by the Eldar? My brain hurts.
The answers are a bit strange. The situation even more so.
I thought watching these vids would answer our questions, but all it did was throw more at us, and not nearly enough information to answer them. I find cliffhangers to be upsetting.
Rogel then blinked. But you are not on a cliff, and you can fly.
It's not like that, brother.
Patience, brother. I've no doubt we will eventually see all of these questions answered, if any of the other series we have watched are to go by. Cliffhangers are annoying, yes, but at least they build on things. Things that may just come falling down upon our heads like a stampede of wild Chigoran horses.
Aegidius's mind appears to be the standard for a boy his age, but his physical capabilities leave much to be desired.
Agreed. The boy is weak. None of us had the choice on whether or not we wanted to lead legions and contribute to the Great Crusade. He is just acting like a spoiled child.
Can we please not pick on my future son, brothers? Rebute spoke up, finally having enough insults on the behest of his son.
Future son?
Well, the crusade has to end one day, and when that happens, I always had hopes to start a family.
Well, your future self seems to have taken a very long time after the crusade has ended.
And with a Xenos witch nonetheless.
And how would you know it's a witch that bears my son?
Call it a damned hunch. You are just high enough on the loyalty chain, and still proud enough of yourself that it had to have been one of the higher-ranking ones.
And the Eldar don't believe in political marriages as far as we know.
If there's anyone that could stand your rambling, brother, it would be one of those witches. Didn't we see that one Eldar woman later on in text-to-speech? She even had a few shorts on her as well. She stabbed Rebute and brought him out of stasis.
Along with that over-artificed piece of armor. Could it be her? I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Remember, brother, she spent time as a Jukai for a good couple 100 years. Vulcan and I don't have the fondest experiences with those damn knife-eared assholes.
I do not know, but if it means our brother will be happy, then I will look the other way.
I appreciate the thought, but remember, there's a chance she isn't even around at this point. And even then, the vids of that future didn't really show much of romance is a strong word, but, you know.
Closed doors and hushed whispers are enough for me.
A certain silence now weighed in the room. The Emperor then glanced at everybody, wanting to move on to a far more important topic.
So, does anyone want to talk about how I'm being replaced?
How can one replace a deity? I mean, not that I worship you as a god anymore or anything, but the Imperial cult is still presumably a thing around this time.
Nice save there, but you do bring up a good point. What I really want to know is why the Eldar are either revering him or hating him. Then again, I can see a good chunk of them hating him just because he's half human.
But we haven't considered one thing. Aegidius never said replace you as Emperor, Father. He merely said he doesn't want to be the Emperor. What is that supposed to mean?
Far too little sense with far too little information in order for us to discern what is going on.
The Emperor had a feeling that this was only going to get more complicated as it went on.
Just like the good old days. Like pieces on a regicide board all over again.
The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. The prairie sky is wide and high, deep in the heart of Texas. The sage in bloom is like perfume, deep in the heart of Texas. Reminds me of the one I love, Texas.